Hi there, let's deal with the second part to this short answer review. I'll go over the rest of the questions. There's 6 more questions. So first let's talk about topic 7. And so we're going to review different ways to produce electricity, give one advantage and a disadvantage. There are many different ways that you can make electricity in topic 7. Let's deal with hydroelectric dams. For hydroelectric dams, the river, which meanders, is blocked up with a cement dam, and what that does is it floods this area in front of the dam, and it controls the falling water, and the falling water spins a turbine, which is a bunch of blades, which spins magnets inside a coil of wire, and that generates electricity. Okay, the magnets in the coiled wire, we call that a generator. You'll notice that in the process of the falling water that spins this turbine, which then spins magnets and a coil of wire, that there's no fuels being used, and so one advantage to this is it's very environmentally friendly from the perspective of no harmful greenhouse gases. A con, or a bad thing, is it totally alters the ecosystem, and we destroy a lot of habitat, and basically the fish, it's hard for the fish to survive now that we've altered that. Let's take a second kind of energy. Let's talk about wind power. If you want to learn more about the hydroelectric dams, then you should look on page 240 for that, page 240. Let's look at wind power and how wind power works. So page 243, wind power is also a renewable energy source, so one pro or advantage to it is it doesn't use up, there's no greenhouse gases again. And it's renewable, it doesn't run out. And then a con to it is the turbine blades can trap a lot of the birds that come in there, and they can kill migratory birds that are trying to fly through. How can we convert mechanical energy into thermal? Well, mechanical energy is like friction. Okay, and so the friction or the rubbing of metal on metal or sandpaper or your hands, that friction from mechanical devices can generate heat. For example, on page 240, it talks about how when you hammer a nail, there's heat being given off. Active versus passive solar heating. Passive just uses windows and the sun. There are no moving parts. Active has solar panels on the roof, and they have pipes that basically store the heated water. Underneath the solar collector is pipes that heat the water, and the water stored. So there's no moving parts in passive. Active has lots of moving parts. The greenhouse effect. So the greenhouse effect is basically the Earth has an atmosphere. That atmosphere has gases in it. It can be thickened with what we call greenhouse gases. When things like CO2 thicken the atmosphere, then the sun's energy that comes in can't escape, and it gets hot inside from the greenhouse effect. The last 2 questions. Fossil fuels are super important to Alberta because of the oil sands and the oil industry. Canada relies on economic benefits from this. And dangers of thermal energy. Well, thermal energy is heat, and so it can be dangerous because it's too